Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity with me, Bring It On. Let's pillage the dragon's hoard, starting with Retante Med Principi. Plus 20% of grazes converted to hits, crits can inflict prone, and it is a superb weapon. That's not my opinion, it's literally what it says. Retante Med Principi, Power of Princes, was recovered by a Valian adventurer pillaging a Gwithan ruins. When he and his party found themselves beset by a clan of Zorops, he put his newfound weapon to work, bringing them to their knees with the scepter's powerful attacks. As they fought, his friend noticed and exclaimed, "It has the power of princes. They kneel before you."
Yeah.
Alright, and next, Wengar. Plus 20% attack speed, plus 10% of hits converted to crits, and it is also superb. Wengar Windspear was once an heirloom in a powerful house that served the first Verkonings and Mechweens of Adir. When the Adiran Empire formed, Wengar was carried at the head of the unifying army and used to strike down the leaders of opposing forces from a great distance. One of the earliest effective crossbows, its accuracy shattered the resolve of many would-be resistors. Yeah, it's a really good crossbow. Vengiata Rugia. As retaliation, it's light, plus 10% damage to flanked targets, and it is superb as well. The superbly crafted set of armor is dyed a dark maroon. The dye is uneven and splotchy, making it look like it was colored by an amateur. In a way, it was. Vengiata Rugia, Red Vengeance, was worn by a young Valian woman who witnessed the murder of her family at the hands of mercenaries serving a powerful duchess, or duchess. When the authorities questioned her, she pretended the trauma had erased any memory of the incident. Yet while she feigned shock-induced oblivion, she trained in secret. So she couldn't wear armor or weapons without attracting attention. She took up work as a seamstress and learned to sew a sturdy garment that would protect her without garnering too much notice. She also refitted a stiletto with the handle of an awl, allowing her to carry it without raising suspicion. By the time she began hunting her family's killers, she was quick with her stiletto and inconspicuous in her padded armor. She assassinated them one by one, each time soaking a piece of her garment in the blood of her latest victim.
Yeah.
Benedetta's Grimoire. That to Aloth. Little Savior. Small shield, 8 deflection, 50 defense while stunned, plus 50 defense while prone. Friendly aura, plus 5 to all defenses. And it is also superb. Little Savior was the nickname given to an Orlan warrior from the Guided Compass tribe, who defended Glenfathans and settlers alike during the Broken Stone War. He argued for peace to any who would listen. Few did, and so he reluctantly threw himself into countless battles, stalling aggressors while the defenseless fled. Alright, so it's very similar to our... Gosh, what's it called? Outworn Buckler? Yeah, Outworn Buckler is right. But it's not limited to Paladin. Alright, it's pretty good stuff down here. You bury your arm to the shoulder. You still haven't reached the bottom of the pile. Alright, Haravius. More mechanics. A returning storm, of course. They learn some new spells.
Need something?
Call to the Primordials. The druid pulls the raw spiritual energy of nature together into the physical forms of 2 or 3 random oozes and slimes. Nature's Bounty. All unoccupied quick slots in the party are filled with wondrous nectar that can be consumed for combat bonuses and healing. That's really good. Weather the Storm. The druid casts a powerful Aegis against the forces of nature over his or her allies, granting large resistance to burn, corrode, freeze, and shock damage. Also really good. Don't much care for this spell, but the other two are really good.
Yeah.
So I have to decide which weapon I want Grieving Mother to specialize in. I'm thinking this crossbow we found is the way to go. If I can find it. And more attack speed and more crits. And focus is generated based off the damage dealt. So crits are more damage. More damage dealt. Can't go wrong. I'm a little disappointed with Minnaletta's Grimoire. There's no new spells. Does have all of Minnaletta's spells, though. That's exciting. Fortunately, it's still junk. Alright, so we go back up top. We will rest, recuperate, and then we'll head to Defiance Bay. And see if the blacksmith at the Crucible Keep is the one that puts the sword together. The Blade of the Endless Paths. The stairs leading up from here have fallen away, ending far above your head. The surrounding rocks, however, look sturdy enough. Given enough time, you should be able to climb up. Climb up the rocks. You climb slowly and steadily up the rocks, and up over the side. And nobody was injured. Huzzah. Alright. We'll also swing by and speak to this steward. Is that her name? As long as I spoke to her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's called the steward. Or something similar. We'll also swing by the merchant and sell some stuff. And we might go and respec some of our companions this episode as well. I'm going to respec Aloth just to give him more mechanics. So I don't want him to be outperformed by the double Karok. Well, I think he's going to be regardless since she has a... I think it's +3. Oh, +2. He only gets +1. He's always going to be behind. Maybe I won't respec him then.
I have heard terrible things. I worried you would not return. Is it true that there are riots in Defiance Bay, and that Avar Wolfgren has been slain?
Nod. Oh, not voice acted. I'm pretty sure every other line of hers has been voice acted. How terrible. I am glad that you're unharmed, my lord. I can only hope the city recovers. What is the state of the keep? I have to say, my lord, you've done an impressive job of restoring the keep's defenses. I don't think a mouse could sneak past the walls, not these walls. Well, on to business.
You've done it! I felt the change from here. It's as if there was a noise, a voice, underlying every sound in the keep, and I had simply ceased to notice. silence now seems almost strange. You have done what the Earls, their descendants, and hosts of explorers could not. There is nobody left to challenge your claim. You are well and truly Master of Kadnua. We have known that from the beginning, of course. But now, all the world will know and share my pride in your accomplishments.
Yeah.
All right. Kadnua is secure. I think I might want to respec Manea as well. Gonna make her dual wield, just because I think there's more weapons for it.
Last thing the deer would need.
It's been a little while since I played, so I don't know if there's anybody else I had planned on respecking. I know I had mentioned Aloth for the mechanics, but I think he's fine. I don't need to change that. We can get rid of Haravius for now.
Watch your
and
steps.
See you when I see you.
Oh, that's right. She's on a quest. Well, shucks. We'll just grab somebody else just to level them up, because I'm sure that we have some levels to distribute. Or at least one. I think these are new. So synced thy biting winds, O Eldneri. Devastates enemies with a powerful blast of cold air that inflicts freeze damage, ignoring a large amount of DR, and slows movement. What Ro Naka found down the deep. Summons a swamp spore to fight for the chanter. Their champion braved the horde alone. The chanter fills himself or herself with frantic energy, significantly increasing attack speed. I'm gonna go with this one just because I like the title more. Beyond that, I didn't know what to choose. Yeah, we're going to give him Gunner for the plus 20% reload speed. I believe we've read this before, so I'm not going to again. Marksman is useless since he's always going to be close, so that his chants are affecting the entire party. You know what?
Safe
Bring
travels.
Adair. I like having him in the party. Probably my favorite companion. Oh, we can't go back to Defiance base. Son of a gun. Here's my plans for the day. We know that the flooded area is cleared out here, based on some NPC dialogue that we saw. I think so. I need to go back to the White March. So I need to swap out my party to reflect that.
Farewell.
I would love to have Adair in the party, but I think Haravius is too valuable to not bring,
See you when I see you.
since we don't have Aloth. Plus, we're still grinding out his soulbound weapon. That's not the case with Aloth any longer. Adair, we're grinding out his as well. His doesn't seem too hard, so I think we'll just... Yeah, this will be fine. When I swap it out later, it's not a big deal. That's aggravating. Can't go back to Defiance Bay to put that sword together. Hopefully I didn't... Oh, well, that's another blacksmith, isn't there? and Gilded Veil. And there might be blacksmiths to the east as well. As long as I can complete the quest, that's all I care about. That's my big concern. Oh, this will be lopsided. People are not going to like that one bit. I want her on the flank so she can circle around. That'd be part of the front line. Alright, let's meet with the merchant first. If he has a new stock with the second part of the DLC. Is it true? I saw the lights from the battery. Did you really open it? Dorling claps his hands in wonder. I can't believe it. I was sure I'd never make this route again. But who knows what rarities will come from those halls, Such an exciting time. Actually, oh, I forgot to sell the stuff to the other guy. Works out.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll just check all the buildings again, just to make sure we don't miss anything. Oh, it's a Temple of Abaddon now. The smooth anvil hardly looks like it's seen use.
Oh, come on! Stupid sword!
This warp breastplate is still warm from the forge.
If you say so. Got it done.
I will be stealing this.
Yep.
Oh, he might have the better stealth, actually. He's got 9, where she has 6.
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Ah, Mila's drawing. Or Mila's drawing. The slightly singed piece of paper has a charcoal drawing on the front. So, don't I have a potion? Or a scroll? I think it's a scroll. To boost stealth somewhere. Alright, that boosts lore, which might come in handy as well. There you go. That's friendly AoE. Even better. Who has my highest lore? I think it's a good amount. Alright. Endurance.
Yeah.
What?
Zawa is ready.
I heard you.
Zawa is ready.
Huh?
I mean, I might just have to take the hit to my reputation in town.
Sound.
This is where Durgan...
To ourselves.
Yeah, iron ingots. So we haven't read that one before. We have read this one. Let's get to read this. Abaddon's Hands. Of all the stories of all the gods, no doubt one of the most charming is the legend of Abaddon's Hands. In some cultures, Abaddon's hands are tiny, cheerful creatures that hide in the walls and in the cracks between paving stones. In others, they are silent men of stone who roam distant lands. In all such tales, however, They are Abaddon's constructs, built in his image to continue his good work of creating strong and wondrous things in this world. Thus, upon spying a mighty mountain peak, or a row of Adra pillars, or another natural marvel, parents and nursemaids will tell young children that these are the work of Abaddon's hands. Such is the appeal of Abaddon as a deity, as it is through his legend that we recognize familiar shapes in the natural world. Thus, when we see a landform that resembles a colonnade, or an arched gate, or a mighty home, we see a hand and purpose at work that is not unlike our own. And while Abaddon's own identity as a construct is alienating to some, to many of us, his crude yet practical shape is comforting. While the other gods take the form of birds, beasts, and sea, Abaddon takes the shape of our most common tools and constructions. His debasement in a body of iron elevates our own works and labors, and offers us a grand hope. For if a god could rebuild himself out of iron, what wonders might Kith create with their own hands?
Huh?
Engrim nods at you and smiles in recognition. Ah, the kindler of the White Forge. We owe you a great debt for the industry and faith you've restored here. Welcome to the Temple of Abaddon. What do you do here? I lead this temple and guide the acolytes in matters both spiritual and mundane. Indicates the forge and anvils. Worshippers of other gods pray or meditate. We Abaddonians venerate our god through the act of smithing. Our doors are always open and our forge always alight. How may I help? This used to be a temple to Adra. He tilts his head to one side. Back when this was a dying, forgotten place. But the clerics who tended it left, as is customary of their goddess. The throngs who have since come to Stalwart sought a more practical deity. Well, farewell.
Zawa is ready.
Alright, well, I didn't want to steal this, but I'm going to anyway. So be it. It's worth it for the potential upgrade. Alright, let's go check out the fishery. Well, hold on, Ista's right here as well. Let's
Your
speak to her.
tribe cast you out? The autumn Stelgar sounds like a real boon.
It is. Beautiful fall colors in its coat. The hairballs alone are breathtaking.
They were probably jealous.
This is going to be fantastic. Just wait till they hear about this back home.
Okay, I assume there's another part to her quest. I forgot that we actually wrapped up her quest as well. Alright, to the fishery. Also, I apologize if I'm stumbling or struggling to read anything. I've been up for over 24 hours at this point, because I had to travel for work. I feel like I've been holding it together pretty well, all things considered. Alright, pretty sure we've read all of these before. Nothing's changed in the fishery. Well, other than one less murderer is on the prowl. Even though I know he wasn't prowling, but he was a murderer. One girl will get the battery's cannons working. They've been frozen solid for centuries. Thaw them out. It could be like cracks or something in them from that. If there's any flaws in the cannons and like the
Blazes. What am I to do with all of these?
water got down in there before it froze, it'd expand and cause the cannons to crack. So, based on what we know of the Parkrunen dwarves, that's unlikely the case. Probably just external frozen. Externally frozen. There we go. I speak to Aska. Let's Aska. A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper. 3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow. And who are these people? Ogren's faithful? Great. Another pack of religious zealots. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. She glances up at you. Oh, sorry, Donald. Just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down some with the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. Or work for those interested. Just saying. You mentioned blights. The Terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. Real disaster that. A great big heap of snow, right on top of one of our main trade routes. We can't start fixing the roads until we get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring this thing's head. The Warders of Terror's last victim was a caravan master. Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figured somewhere in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch, and I'll take it as proof you handled the blight. Sound fair? Who are Mogren's faithful? Bandits and horse thieves, far as I can tell. Led by a woman named Roadwith. Problem is their little group keeps growing, and they've started tearing through some of the smaller villages. They were last spotted by Searing Falls, and rumor is they're headed in our direction. Stalwart's just getting its bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Rodwith's head, and I'll see you a little richer for it. Alright, we got a couple bounties, one of which is right up Haravius' alley currently. Oh, hello there. Let's say. Ammon's Emporium. Oh, a new shop. Let's check this out first. I spend the rest of the episode reading.
Would I interest you in a new blade?
Find your own business while I peruse. You can see your own reflection in these shields. This looks like Stalwart from the road to Deerwood. Cheap perfumes line the bottom shelf. These identical Abaddon figurines are all of equally poor quality. The shopkeeper's clothes seem a little nicer, if not terribly warm, compared to what you've seen around Stalwart. His hair is immaculately coiffed, and his rosy cheeks look like they've barely been touched by the mountain winds. Welcome, welcome. We got arms and armor, all top quality. Or perhaps you'd like to see potions. Always a pleasure to meet respectable company out here anyway. Show me what you have for sale. Twin Sting. Oh, it's soulbound. Inflicts 4.7 raw damage over 4 seconds on hit. Twin Sting is a crossbow with an unusual design. Excuse me, had something in my throat. Twin Sting is a crossbow with an unusual design. It's built to fire 2 bolts before requiring a reload. Few are the practical uses of such a weapon that'd be worth the trade-off of the extra weight. How much does it weigh? That's not a stat. Never mind. This item, however, was built to fulfill a very particular need. Yeah, seems that way. The colored coat. Heavy armor, exceptional, minus 10 armor speed penalty. Grants Wicked Briars when endurance drops below 51%. OAE, pierce damage, and hobbles. The Right Lord Laurel Tenring found himself in the unenviable position, jeez, I can't read, of being caught in a war between 2 branches of his own family, fought over hunting rights to certain lands that were jointly owned. While most family members found it easy to choose a side, Laurel could not bring himself to take up arms against anyone in his large extended family. He had this brigandine decorated in 2 tones, each representing the opposing family banners, and the local spell rights imbue it with the power to raise a wall of briars, which he hoped to use to keep the sides divided on the battlefield. When the 2 sides met in combat, he rode out to the center of the battlefield, raising briar patches and waving to both sides, calling out for them to stop their mad feud. Unfortunately, his decorative brigandine had the opposite effect of what he intended, and each side read it as being the uniform of the other. He was felled by a rain of arrows from both directions. When his family realized he had died, they put their battle on hold and discussed peace. Then they began to argue about where Laurel should be buried, and the feud began anew. Seal of Faith, we've seen this before. Stag Helm, we've also seen. I think Zawa is currently wearing that. Ring of the Celadon, also seen this, right? We've seen this before, right? I'm pretty sure we've seen this before. Sorry, I'm just skipping ahead real quick. I want to check how much reading we have to do. Oh, this is the helmet to my current armor. Sanguine Plate's helm. Minus 50% stern duration and minus 50% knockdown duration. Despite popular assumption, the Sanguine Plate was not named for its blood-spattered appearance. It was originally owned by a barbarian from Roatai, and while his combat style did frequently leave the Sanguine Plate in need of a good polishing, it was actually named in reference to the owner's jolly nature. We knew that. He was popular around town and in the taverns of the nearby port, where he was quick to buy friends and... Yeah, this is the same description. I'm gonna buy it just to have it. Sure, we've seen this before. Torque of Defiance. I'm pretty sure we have this in our stash, don't we? Yeah, same thing. He carries Many Scars Helm. Plus 2 athletics, plus 50 defense while stunned, and plus 50 defense while prone. This armor was forged in honor of the Readsirian monk Rugnfar, who came to believe that as long as no enemy could inflict more pain upon him than he could upon himself, he could never truly be subjugated by anyone. Conscripted by his government to quell the uprisings inspired by Saint Widewin, Rugnfar became a frightful presence on the battlefield. For every injury he sustained at the hands of an enemy, he could inflict one twice as severe, drawing strength from the pain that enabled him to fight through injuries that would have caused anyone else to collapse on the ground. He would charge his enemies covered in blood, with tears on his skin from hand to foot, and his foes would shrink at the sight of him, believing as he did, that it was not in their power to injure such a man. Near the end of the rebellion, when the rebels had all but overthrown the government, Rungfar found himself in a battle defending against Saint Widewin's main forces. Accounts claim that he was the last on his side to remain alive, and when he was approached by Saint Widewin himself in the end. As the story goes, Living God looked him over and gave a slight bow, bidding him to fall upon his own blade, that he might remain free. The armor bears many artificial scars added by the blacksmith, to make its wearer as imposing as the figure that inspired it, though it wears its real scars with equal pride. I might give that to Zawa, just for the thematics. I need to look and see. I'm pretty sure we have this. I don't know if I equipped it on somebody, though. Also really like this helmet. So many options. I still need to go through all this stuff and re-equip everybody. That's a project for another day, though. I might finish the second part of the White March DLC before I do that. And then focus on equipping my A team with the best equipment. So I'll unequip everybody and then just focus on re-equipping everybody from the top down. Priority will be the main character, of course. And then Palagina, Adair, Aloth, Grieving Mother. Is that it? I forget anybody? Oh, Endurance. Of course, forgot Endurance. Alright, I'm going to grab this as well. And I think that'll do for now. I'm going to grab this. Read it again? I feel like I've read this before. I mean, it's a unique item. Maybe we haven't. Alright, screw it. Let's read it anyway. That's the safest I can be. Arguis, Adra's Helm. Plus 3 resolve. When Grief, Admeth Hadrit passed the 10 years treaties on the anniversary of the War of Black Trees, he outlawed the looting of Ingwithan ruins. Well, this is a popular move among the Glenfothans, as well as the frontier villagers who frequently found themselves the subject of the tribe's vengeance. It was an unwelcome change for the traders and adventurers who had made their living selling Egwithan artifacts. Quite a few vendors, however, took to commissioning and selling replicas. Many fakes, yeah, we have read this. Many fakes were so skillfully made that even scholars had difficulty distinguishing between them, and ciphers were sometimes hired to attest the authenticity of high-value objects. Arguus Adra armor actually was taken from the ruins near the Court of Bowing Ashes, but it so closely resembled two known fakes that it famously passed through Defiance Bay. Defiance Bay, Akenji, and Salona, where an Animancer and Bardo recognized its authenticity. Goodbye. We have plenty of money. I'm not worried about it. Okay, we call it here. Next episode, we'll continue exploring the upgraded Stalwart. I assume that'll take us at least another episode, and then we can begin exploring outside the village limits again. I guess you could call it questing. Either way, we'll take care of that next time. For now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.